Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Computomics podcast. It's a pleasure to have you back with us today. Last week, we had Ruth Mays on the podcast to talk about the different kinds of customers and some customer success stories we've had. And this week, we will be talking to Miguel Rapela, who is an influential figure in the Latin American market. And I think he will open up some great topics and great information for us about the challenges in Argentina and the market in general and what is being done to combat those challenges. So I hope you enjoy the episode. So Miguel, welcome to the episode. It's nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, so I think for our audience, for those of us who may not know you and who may not really be familiar with the agricultural sector in South America, maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes, no problem at all. Well, my name is Miguel Rapela. I was born and living in Argentina Republic. Well, just to start, I would like to say that many years ago, from an early age, I had a strong vocation for nature issues, and that led me to study something related to it. I was not very fond on descriptive science, like botany, for example, so I chose agronomy. That is how I received my degree as an agronomist in Argentina several years later. And very quickly became an assistant researcher at the Institute of Plant Breeding in Argentina.
Okay.
There, I did my specialization in plant breeding and genetics, and at that time, my first approach to biotechnology. Later, at the age of 13, I decided that this academic path was not what I wanted, and I had the opportunity to enter to the seed industry as a researcher in genetics and corn breeding. At that time, Northern King Seeds Company, now is Syngenta.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yes. After 10 years there, I was a DuPont pioneer in Argentina for a few more years. And then I went to work for a national seed company.
Okay.
Along with this, I also continued my studies. I completed my master in data science and my PhD in regulatory affairs and intellectual property. Well, with such complex and a lot of experience, I had the honor of having been appointed executive director of both the Argentina Seed Association as well as the Argentina Plant Breeders Association.
That's a really great honor.
Oh yeah, sure. And among other things, I was one of the founders of the Seed Association of America, and I was the chairman of the Intellectual Property Committee for almost a decade. At the same time, I joined the Intellectual Property Committee of the International Seed Federation, ISF.
Oh, okay.
And I was chairman of this committee for a period of 2 years. And after another 10 years in those positions, I left all the associations and returned to academic life. And at present, I am the academic director of the master's degree in intellectual property at the Faculty of Law of the Austral University in Argentina, and the director of technology transfer of the genomic platform, which is administered by UBATEC, which is a technological transfer unit of the University of Buenos Aires. It was a short view of my career here in Argentina and in many other parts of the world.
Well, I have to say that your LinkedIn profile certainly doesn't convey all those interesting tidbits. So thank you for explaining that to us. It's always amazing to me how life is really circular, right? It starts in one place and then you sort of go somewhere else and then you come back and then you go somewhere else and then you come back. And in a way, it's also beautiful at the end. It all makes so much sense, but maybe when, somewhere in the middle, it didn't, make so much sense. But that's really great. So what are your current then activities? What do you do? I don't know, on a daily basis, or what is your mission with the university and with UBATEC
Yes.
at the present?
Okay. Well, as I said, I have two positions. In the Australian University is the most important private university in Argentina, and has an excellent postgraduate degrees in economy and agribusiness. I have a long-lasting relationship with Australian University and the Intellectual Property Center. This center is an academic institution to develop educational activities, research, conflict resolution, consulting service, and favor the development of intellectual property in all aspects. And my other position is a genomic platform.
Okay.
And the genomic platform is a state-of-the-art facility located in the biochemistry department of the Agricultural School of the University of Buenos Aires. Mm-hmm. University of Buenos Aires is the most important university of Argentina. It's a public university. Mm-hmm. And so in the genomic platform, mm-hmm. born all the relationship with computomics. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think the relationship started in 2019, is that right?
Yes. The relationship started in 2019, last year. And this is basically a cooperation mm-hmm. between the genetic platform of UBATEC and Computomics, in which both parts put on the table the best of each part. Mm-hmm. And so from our side, from the genomic platform side, we can do a genotyping by sequencing, mm-hmm. genotyping service by allele specific, market-assisted selection as forward breeding, and market-assisted backcrossing or integration of biotechnological events, mm-hmm. a whole genomic sequencing, and scanning of genomic variants.
Okay.
And so we share this the work with Computomics, which is the other part of the agreement, in which Computomics will support our clients on areas in which we don't have such amount of variance as Computomics has. Mm-hmm. For example, genome assembled by annotation and score.
Okay.
Genomic prediction, X-seed score.
Yes.
Phenotype and image analysis, crop score.
Okay.
Metagenomics, microbiome analysis, Morpheus,
okay. Mm-hmm.
Megan 6, DNA methylation analysis, differential methylation, mm-hmm. and methyl score, for example.
Okay.
So I think that the complementation between UBATEC and Computomics is a very good challenge for both, and also a very rare opportunity for the seed companies and institutions here in Argentina.
I agree, and I also think it's just a beautiful way to bring together needs from across the globe, right? So the needs of one location, which are really maybe too deep for us to understand on our own, combined with your expertise and UBATEC's, kind of presence and just experience and knowledge of the area and of the field, combined with the technical knowledge of computomics. It really gives everybody the opportunity to shine where they are best and be supported by, the partner institutions. So I think that's probably the definition of a great partnership, where everyone brings their strengths and supports each other, in other areas. So I'm very, very grateful for the collaboration and, of course, for the opportunity for us. But maybe this can sort of lead us to the natural question of what are the unique aspects of developing agriculture and sort of agricultural innovation in Argentina, and what are maybe the unique challenges in Argentina, or if you would consider South America in general?
Well, it's a really a deep question.
It is
because Argentinian agriculture has gone through a notable innovation in recent decades.
Okay.
Although progress was uneven across regions.
Which I think is very natural for, I mean, if I think about America, we probably have incredibly uneven distribution of progress as well. So absolutely.
Yes. And one of the questions that is different between Argentina and other Latin American countries and Europe is that all our countries are very large, very large.
Right.
All Western Europe has less surface as Argentina, so it's a really big country.
Wow, yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yes, while regions outside the Pampas show low dynamism, the Pampas region, which is the most rich part of our country, has experienced a remarkable increase in the amount of arable land cultivated, and in crop total productivity, and also, which is the most important issue, is the adoption of new technologies. And the most important ones are no-tillage practice, the introduction of genetically modified plant varieties, and obviously the incredible expansion of the area cultivated with soybean.
With soybean,
which right now is about almost 20 million hectares, which is a lot.
And this expansion into soy has really happened in, would you say, the recent decade or the last 2 decades, or even less?
Well, regarding soybean, ever since 1997, 98, the soybean has been Argentina's main crop.
Oh, okay.
And the production, processing, and export of soy and soybean products are core activities in the Argentine economy, having shaped a highly competitive production in terms of technology and foreign exchange, etc.
Okay, interesting. And how was that introduced? Was that introduced through these large sort of, you mentioned Syngenta and, these large agricultural institutions, or was it introduced, do you have any idea of how that came to be?
Yes, and good question also. Argentina's soybean seed market is supplied by a wide range of varieties developed by private seed companies. But most of them are Argentine seed companies, and not the international big important ones, as you mentioned, as Monsanto, Syngenta, Bayer, etc.
Is that based on a level of respect for local production, or is there an aspect of pride in things that are Argentinian, or is there a different motivation?
No. I don't know really the exact explanation. But I can say that the international seed companies prefer to work with hybrids and not with self-pollinated species, because we have a lot of problems regarding intellectual property in Argentina and many other countries in Latin America. If I have to mention the most challenged issue in Argentina and also in all South America is intellectual property.
Interesting. And how does that manifest itself? How does that show itself in sort of the way that farmers have to think about things, seed companies have to think of things, or, the way that, how do you see it play out? How does it come to you in your everyday life?
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean in your question. It's about,
I guess, so those problems with intellectual property, how do they present themselves? Is it that, or farmers are concerned about buying or selling seed, or seed companies are concerned about buying or selling or patenting seed?
It's a very complex issue also. For many years, almost 20 years, we're trying to adapt our variety protection legislation in order to be online with the technological aspect of our activity, but we didn't have any success. But however, the National Seed Institute, which is a public institution in charge of seeds and plant varieties, has done a very good job in the last 2 years. In 2018, a new regulation was enacted, and creating it's a very complex name. It's a simplified agricultural information system.
Okay.
The new regulation makes it compulsory for all farmers to declare information related to sowing.
I see.
Including the location of seed lots, planted areas, and plant varieties used.
I see.
So the National Seed Institute officials have legal access to all the information on almost the whole planted area, segregated by plant variety, and allow them to have a real roadmap, I could say, of what is being sown in the country. But the most important is additionally, and following a joint project between the National Seed Institute and the seed companies, the National Seed Institute released a new resolution approving a list of 57 SNPs DNA markers in order to verify and identify soybean varieties.
Okay.
So as a result of implementing this step, the complementarity of these normatives will allow Plant Seed Institute officials determine whether farmers' declarations are straight or otherwise impose administrative penalties for any inconsistencies that they verify. And so the plant breeders, the companies, will have access to the files so they can defend their infringed property rights in civil court proceedings. And these changes that occurs in the last 2 years are extremely important. And in our case, the genomic platforms of UBATEC is a key element of this new resolution, because we have all the capabilities to analyze 100% of our area in Argentina.
Sure. Yeah, for me, listening to you talk, that was immediately, the correlation, your expertise in IP as well as your understanding of genetics, and now I totally understand your participation in the two institutes, one sitting on the side of IP and one sitting on the side of let's get these seeds verified, let's get them tested, and let's develop a system that is going to sort of align what's happening in the field with the assumption that companies have about their intellectual property or what they are owed or the infringement. So that makes sense. So it seems like you are really sitting at the bridge of the solution, right? So you are really bringing the two sides to talk to each other, to understand each other, I guess.
Yes, I do agree what you said. I'm sitting on the bridge. And perhaps I'm sitting on the bridge between the past and the future. With regard to plant breeding and the future in my region, I see that the research activity of small and medium seed companies and of official institutions could have a very great benefit if we can protect the intellectual property of the varieties and all the efforts that plant breeders do with the new technologies as genome analysis, gene editing, and so on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess the last question I would just ask you is maybe to just elaborate on that future a little bit. I know you mentioned, the genome editing and things like this. Like, as this all shapes or comes together in Argentina, what do you hope and, maybe more realistically expect for what the effect is going to be for the seed companies, but also the farmers on the field, and also Argentina's economy in general?
Well, of course, I hope for the best.
Of course.
But one of the main changes that we are seeing here is that the interest in plant breeding from the public institution, as well as small and medium-sized seed companies, is increasing.
Okay.
And it's increasing because gene editing is now a tool at the hands of the public institution and small and medium-sized company, which not was the case of the past, in which the transgenic biotechnology were in the hands of the big seed companies as Syngenta, Monsanto, and so on. And so we are expecting deep changes in the future and good changes, of course, for the plant breeding industry in Argentina and the development of new seed varieties.
Great. Well, thank you, Miguel, so much for that very interesting overview and insight into what's happening. And thank you for your effort in bringing together two sides. I think in a world where things are quite divided sometimes and divisive, it's great to talk to somebody who is working not to defend one side, but to defend really the unity of two sides. So that's very much appreciated. And of course, we always appreciate the collaboration and partnership. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anna, for your call. And obviously, I repeat, I hope for the best. Yes. And the best for Computomics and UBATEC relationship will be the best for Argentina and our farmers. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I think it was very interesting to hear from an influential figure, someone who is really trying to bring together different parts of the agricultural field to make and to foster solutions. I'm really thankful to Miguel for the episode, and I hope it was very interesting for everybody. If you would like to get in touch with us, please contact us, info@computomics.com, and we always look forward to suggestions and ideas. So we hope to hear from you soon.